The deceit was intentional. The way it was handled was plainly a stab in the back. The second thing concerning the leaks. This is an unprecedented new law in terms of how to proceed, and also in terms of truth and trust. But doing so also sends a very worrying signal for all heads of states. Beware.
Chief Political Correspondent Laura Tingle's with me. Laura, didn't anybody ask him to say what he really thinks?
I should have probably briefed him beforehand, I think, Lee. Yes, no, he was being very coy. No, the ambassador, of course, as we heard in those grabs, was making 2 points. One of them was he laid out the case for the fact that the French believed that they were misled and deceived for months and possibly even longer about the original decision to dump the submarine contract. And he pointed to a meeting that the Foreign Affairs and Defence Ministers had with their French counterparts in August, where they put out a joint communique saying how central the submarine program was to everything that was going on. And he then went in very hard on that point about the leaking of the text message from President Macron to the Prime Minister, and basically said, look, you know, it shows that you can't trust Australia, or brackets the Prime Minister, if you're another head of state, because it may end up being in the public domain. It was pretty savage.
The ambassador was also talking about sovereignty. I've heard the Australian PM talking about sovereignty too. What's with that emphasis?
Well, there are 2 points. As we talked about last night, the ambassador went on at some length to talk about how significant this deal was for the French, in saying that it wasn't just about building submarines, but it was about fully transferring at the same time technologies and know-how at the core of what is one of our most classified and sensitive defence programs. And this is the real sensitivity that the French have. But he also had a warning for Australia, which was that we are effectively handing over our sovereignty to other powers, by which he means, I think, the US and the UK, because we will not be developing a sovereign capability to build our own submarines here in Australia by this decision. So he had a bit of a warning there for us. But the Prime Minister, en route home in Dubai, is essentially sort of not backing off. He told journalists this afternoon, our time, that various claims have been made and denied. He didn't actually deny the leaking of the text message, and he said it was time to move on.
I made very clear what the timeline was and why I believed that we had made very clear that there were very significant issues about us moving forward with this contract.
So I think we see from that the Prime Minister probably just hopes this will go away, but without backing down. The ambassador spoke today about the value of being able to eat humble pie, and vaguely suggested that the US President knew how to do that a bit better than Australians did. So I think it's this idea that the relationship is in a state of going back to normal is probably a bit fanciful for the time being.
Laura Tingle, thank you.
Thanks, Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.